I made the same AI animation at 3 different levels of difficulty to find out which new AI tool is the most powerful. The results shocked me because the most expensive model wasn't always the best. I'm using Artlist so I can have all of the same models in one place. It's just a lot easier. This isn't sponsored at all, but I do have a link down in the description that'll give you 2 free months if you want to try it out. Most AIs are only as good as their prompt, and we're gonna test that later. For this first segment though, I gave the machines what they wanted. A nice, long, cinematic prompt with tons of detail. This will allow us to test prompt adherence as well as contextual understanding. How contextual understanding, you might ask? Well, I put a trick in the prompt and only 1 model passed the test. What I asked the AIs to give me was a cinematic fly-through of an ancient Roman cityscape to reveal the Colosseum. The first model to give it a shot was Kling 2.6 Pro. There's a number of things wrong with this generation, but first let's highlight the good stuff. The camera movement I think looks really good. The lighting is nice, and the audio actually sounds kinda perfect with the cheering and the drums that come in when the Colosseum is revealed. My big problems with this though are that it feels really animated, almost like a cutscene from a video game. The people walking down the street also kinda glitch around, and most importantly, these buildings just don't really feel ancient. Just use this building on the right as an example. It looks like a modern day apartment building. This is modern day Rome. It also fell for my trick, and I'm curious, do you know what that trick is? Leave a comment down below if you think you do. The next model up is VO 3.1. I think this actually looks worse than Kling. It's overly sharp and ugly, and the lighting is super flat, especially in the shadows over here on the right. It also gave me music as the audio, which I'm not a big fan of. I can just add music myself later. And there's weird bats that kind of warp in here. I'm not sure what that's about. The positives are that it seems to have gotten the architecture down a little bit better. There's no like big apartment buildings, but it did still fall for the trap that I set in the prompt. Our next model, however, is almost perfect in my eyes. This is Seedance V1 Pro, and I actually had to generate an image with Seedream first and then animate that because Seedance doesn't do text to video generation. This might be cheating, I don't know, but the result is really good. The color and lighting depth alone is insane. I mean, the reflection off the road and the sun hotspot on the temple are like top tier graphics. It also looks more accurate to the period, I noticed. I'm sure some scholar could tear it apart and say this doesn't look anything like what ancient Rome would have looked like, but as a layman, I don't really see anything wrong with these buildings here. That said, despite how amazing this video is, it still fell for my trap. I asked the AI for the Colosseum specifically because I know that all of the images that these AI models are trained on are going to be modern day images of a ruined Colosseum. And just like I expected, all of the models imaged a ruined Colosseum, except for one. Sora 2 Pro gave me an incredible original Colosseum with an aqueduct running in the distance. The rest of the city looks amazing too. There's torches burning outside buildings, and the golden hour light just creates this beautiful glow as it catches the haze and smoke filling the air. This is definitely the winner, as long as you replace the audio. So that's what models can do if you give them a good prompt, but what if we get real lazy with it? I broke them. Oh, look at his nails. The worst dinosaur award goes to Kling, the dumbest dino definitely goes to Seedance, and the best overall, just, it has to be Sora again. But this is kind of like winning a game of dodgeball against like a group of 5th graders, and you still almost lost. We're gonna try this again, but with a different prompt. Let's first look at some realism. One of my favorite movies is about a drummer and the insane pressures of a world-class music school. It's called Whiplash, and in one of the most famous scenes, Miles Teller gets pushed to the limit by his instructor.
Not quite my tempo. Look at me!
I wanted to emulate that scene to test the AI's understanding of character interaction and the quality of their dialogue. Now the AI generations in order of least to most unhinged.
Not quite my tempo.
Not quite my tempo.
Not quite my tempo.
Holy crap, that was terrifying. I noticed a trend here. Audio in general, still really bad. It's synced, but it's bad. I would show you Sora's clip next, but it failed. I think that it knew that this was a clip from a movie, or at least I was trying to emulate a clip from a movie, so it was like, can't do that, chief. So I'm gonna change the script a bit, and then we'll give it another shot.
Try again.
It's interesting to see how each model handled this prompt. I'm kind of torn on how to rank them because they each have their weaknesses and their strong suits. So I guess I'll leave it over to you guys. What do you think? Which is your favorite? Let me know down in the comments. I have not forgotten about our simple prompt category. I'm gonna give this a try one more time with an entirely different prompt, but at the end I'm gonna combine my favorite text to image tool with a image to video tool to get the best result possible, all while doing it as lazily as possible. For this last prompt, I want to generate a Yeti. VO3 gave me the worst result. I'm not gonna say much about that, that's pretty obvious. The result from Seedance was okay. It kind of gave like a unique drawn style of animation, and the light and shadows work really well, so it's got the 3rd spot on my list. Kling 2.6 and Sora 2 now remain. Looking at these two thumbnails, which do you think is Sora 2? Wrong. This one is Sora 2, which means that the winner by a long shot is Kling 2.6 Pro. It's just awesome. Everything from the light to realism to the fur. Wow. Until I play the audio.
This place is quite interesting.
Ugh, audio needs work. Now before you go do your own test with these tools, there's one other method that gives you an even better result the lazy way. I'm gonna open up Artlist's text to image generator, select Nano Banana, and then input my prompt. And then I'll hit this enhance button, which gives a much better prompt. Generate that, and then I can animate it by clicking here, selecting any video model, and hitting auto prompt. Here's our final result with Nano Banana Pro combined with Kling 2.6 Pro. Overall, it's hard to argue that Sora 2 isn't the best AI image generator out there right now. However, it's not necessarily always the best in every circumstance. Not to mention, it comes with a cost. Sora 2 Pro generations cost roughly 5 times more than a Kling 2.6 Pro generation. So is it worth it? Definitely not unless you give it a really good prompt, and that's where Artlist prompt enhancer tools come in really handy. That said, if you want to learn more about Artlist and how their AI systems work, you should check out this video right up over here. I'm going to take you through a full walkthrough of the system.